sure that most, if not all of you out there, have a certain artist, a certain favorite person whose music just makes you want to tap your toes, snap your fingers, and bang the drum all day. For a lot of people, that person happens to be Todd Rundgren, who's worked in a number of capacities over the years. He's been a great musician, playing some guitar, singing some songs, and also producing a heck of a lot too. So we thought we'd give you a little bit of sample here, what we're calling Todds and Ends. This is our regular look at what goes on inside the grooves. It's a program we call Platter Chatter. From the set of Goin Vinyl, this is Platter Chatter, the web series that features classic trends and classic tracks. I'm your host, Bill Robert, and once again, asking you first of all, if you can just click the like and subscribe here. Obviously, the like will help more people see this, and the subscribe will help you see more of what we've got, because we've got a lot of content here, talking music, talking bands, talking records, talking all kinds of great musical stuff. So join us, not just for Platter Chatter, but also our main show, Goin Vinyl. It's all right here on this YouTube channel. You can also check us out on Facebook. We're at Goin Vinyl TV. And if you've got a suggestion for a show, subject, music, something like that, all you have to do is either hit us up with the comments here or send us an email. It is billthedj@goinvinyl.com. So the subject of our show today is Todd Harry Rundgren, a.k.a. Todd Rundgren, obviously. Born in the summer of 1948, and over the years he has done many things in the field of music. He's been a guitarist, he's been a singer, he's been a solo artist, he's been a member of a group. He's also produced a lot of things too. I mean, just look at his production credits. Just to give you an example, Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. He produced that. Let's see, Skylocking from XTC, that's the album that gave us Dear God. He produced that. He's produced a ton of stuff over the years. There's really something we're not getting into today, but we might do a sample down the road in another episode of Platter Chatter and do some of the stuff that he's actually produced over the years. Today we're basically looking at his musical output as a performer, be it a guitarist, a solo artist, or whatever. And so the first one we're going to do here, this is one of his first big hits. In fact, a classic one. A lot of people still, this is their favorite song of his ever. It's from the album Something Anything, I Saw the Light.
So we walked alone, though I knew that there was something wrong, and a feeling that feels so strong about you. Then you gazed up at me, and the answer was plain to see, 'cause I saw the light in your eyes.
And this wasn't the only song off this album that did well. Obviously, his other big single, Hello It's Me, one of his other big singles, I should say, but one of the big ones off this album comes there too. And Couldn't I Just Tell You, another great little rocker from Todd on that album as well. So there we go, some of Todd's solo stuff. Now, in addition to Todd's solo stuff, he wound up, in different acts. And one of his pet projects basically was a group called, originally it was Todd Rundgren's Utopia, and later it just became Utopia. And for a while it was kind of an amorphous thing, and it had different members. But after a while it basically came down to four members. It was Todd Rundgren on guitar and vocals, Kazim Sultan on bass and vocals, and actually all of them did vocals for different songs, but you had Roger Powell on keyboards and Willie Wilcox on drums, so a really good combo. And one of the earlier albums that they had as this version of Utopia was an album called Oops, Wrong Planet. Now on that one is a song called Love Is the Answer, and if that title sounds familiar, it should, because later on that song was a big hit for England Dan and John Ford Coley. It was written by Rundgren, so Rundgren actually did write that, and he did record it on the album. But we're going to play another track off Oops, Wrong Planet. This is Utopia, Love in Action.
Got you till the end, you're heading around. Money, money, money makes the world go round. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. I said you can't stop. 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 Love in action. Love in action.
You can't stop, you can't stop, you can't stop love in action. Utopia with Todd Rundgren on the lead vocal there from their album Oops, Wrong Planet. Now, Todd had a number of notable hits and notable songs. This is one that actually is notable for a little different way. First of all, it technically wasn't part of the Healing album. It was actually a 45 that was included inside the album. Sometimes you'll have a bonus single that gets thrown in the album along with a regular 12-inch disc. This was one of those, and actually it's funny because the video for this song was played in the first hour that MTV broadcast back in 1981. So it's it's not quite Video Killed the Radio Star, but once again it's there. It was in that first hour, and it's such a terrific song. I love this one. It's one of my favorite Todd Rundgren songs of all time. The 45 from the album Healing. This is Time Heals.
They can call for the doctor who provide what the diagnosis says you'll need him, and he'll take away your pain. But if your heart has been broken and you don't wear it on your sleeve, no one can tell. Your hell goes unspoken, but there's one thing you must believe. Time heals the wounds no one can see. Time heals the wounds that no one can see.
So that's another great Todd Rundgren solo song. Time Heals. I just love the fact that it starts out if you're bleeding and everyone can see you're bleeding, but sometimes if you don't wear it on your sleeve, no one can tell, but time heals the wounds. It's just such a great message of hope, and it's such a catchy tune too. I just absolutely adore that one. It was an interesting video too, because back then Todd Rundgren was really kind of experimenting with different video production styles and digital effects and chroma keying and compositing and all that stuff. So if you get a chance, check it out. In fact, what you ought to do is on YouTube they actually have archived the first hour of MTV in 1981. Just watch it. I think it's like the third or fourth one in there. Along with it, as we mentioned, also Video Killed the Radio Star. I think Pat Benatar's You Better Run is like in the first bunch too. So a lot of classic videos in there, but one of them is Todd's Time Heals. So now we're going to get back to Todd as part of a group, and once again we're going to his group Utopia. In fact, here's the band members right now. That's Todd Rundgren. Willie Wilcox, the drummer. That's Roger Powell, the keyboard player, and that's Chasm Sultan. Great bass player. I mentioned, a lot of times I mention how much I love bass lines and bass players, and he is really terrific. Darn good singer too. So I mean, and the great thing about Utopia is it's so democratic, where it's not just like one lead singer or another lead singer. Depending on the song, like for instance, they hear Princess of the Universe. It's Willie doing the vocals, and then Chasm will do another one. He does Libertine, and then Todd does the vocals on this one, which is what we'll play for you right now. What a banger from this one, Hammer in My Heart. There you go, Todd Rundgren, Hammer in My Heart, an absolute banger with Utopia there. And once again, if I had to recommend like different songs for Utopia, like with a different vocalist, because I mentioned that everyone gets lead vocals on the record, so it's very democratic. So if I were to pick a Willie Wilcox song, probably might be You Make Me Crazy off of Adventures in Utopia. Roger Powell, definitely Adventures in Utopia, the song Caravan. It's a song about it's an epic song about going in the desert in camels and then things go wrong and it's a day of reckoning. It's such a great epic song. That's Caravan. Chasm Sultan, once again, Adventures in Utopia, Set Me Free is a great one. Libertine off the Utopia album is a great one too. So a lot of things. And obviously Todd's all over the place too. Stand for Something off POV is a great one. So I mean, that's a case where basically if you go through the albums and go through like Oops Wrong Planet and then Adventures in Utopia, Swing to the Right. I cannot forget Swing to the Right because it's my favorite Utopia album of all time. And then go right from there to the Utopia album. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there to enjoy. Even later ones like Oblivion, POV, stuff like that. Just check them out. It's really a good listen. So now we go from Todd once again as part of his band Utopia to Todd's solo work, and this is one of his best known works. It's the ever-popular Tortured Artist effect, or TEPTE if you just want to use the initials, make things shorter. But this is the Todd Rundgren song that just about everybody knows. It's a workplace anthem, Bang the Drum All Day.
I don't want to play, I just want to bang on the drum all day. Ever since I was a tiny boy, I don't want no candy, I don't need no toy. I took a stick and an old coffee can, I bang on that thing till I got bruises on my head because I don't want to work, I want to bang on the drum all day.
The funny thing about Todd Rundgren is he's a guy who a lot of times does like experimental stuff and like obscure stuff and then stuff that's kind of out there. But also, he can just flip the switch and bang out a hit single in no time, whether it be Bang the Drum All Day or Hello It's Me or I Saw the Light or like one of those. I mean, the guy is just, he's a genius. You know, a lot of people, you know, they'll rhyme Todd with something else, and I'm not going to get into that here. But a lot of people are big fans of Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren showed up on the 2000s as well. Now, technically, this is a song that didn't come out on vinyl, but I'm making a dispensation because, well, it's Todd. Todd Rundgren got together with a couple of his buddies, one of them being Chasm Sultan, the bass player from Utopia, and the other one being Prairie Prince, the drummer from the Tubes. They worked with each other a long time. And also, Prairie Prince, you know, talk about the Tubes. Todd Rundgren produced two of the Tubes albums. He produced Love Bomb, and he also produced my favorite Tubes album of all time, Remote Control. So the three of them got together, and they formed a group with Greg Hawkes and Elliot Easton, so like the two remaining members of the Cars. You know, and they formed a group called the New Cars. It's got a Todd Rundgren sound, but when they get to the chorus, you definitely hear the backing vocals like you did in the early days of the Cars, and you can see what a big part the backing vocals of Greg Hawkes and Elliot Easton were to the Cars sound. This one it's the New Cars, a couple of the old Cars plus the three new guys. Not Tonight.
I wanna show you around the sights, but not tonight. I like the outfit you're wearing. I like the way that you think. I'd like to call us a cab and take you out for a drink. Wink, wink. I wanna take you for a little bite, but not tonight.
And there we go, the New Cars. Prairie Prince on drums, Chasm Sultan on bass, Elliot Easton on guitar, Greg Hawkes on keyboards, and lead guitar and lead vocal, Todd Rundgren, and Not Tonight. And that's a look at Todds and Ends, basically, our quick sampler of some of the works that Todd Rundgren has done over the years. And that'll do it for this edition of Platter Chatter. I'm your host, Bill Robert. Once again, I'd like to ask you if you could hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, please just click the like button. After all, we are on YouTube here for this. And also click the subscribe button. That'll give you access to more, because obviously we'll come out with more episodes of this show, Platter Chatter, plus our main show, Goin Vinyl. So all of those can be found right here on this YouTube channel. You can also check out our Facebook page at Goin Vinyl TV, or if you have an idea for a show episode, maybe a certain type of music or a certain type of song you want profiled, you know, drop me a line. You know, hit me up in the comments or drop me an email. It is billthedj@goinvinyl.com. Until we come to you next time with some more grooviness from the land where the platters still matter and the records still rock, I'm Bill Robert, thanking you for checking out this edition of Platter Chatter.